Why did Cyclops get mad at Jean Grey? Because she told him he couldn't spell Hawaii without two eyes. Thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel for Comic Book Editions Volume 182. Unknown Comics has had some great sales, and I've taken advantage of those. In today's video, I'll share with you some haul from some recent orders that I placed with them. I'm glad that you're stopping by for it. By the way, have you checked out my back issue of the week YouTube short? March is Women's History Month, and I'm celebrating again like I've done the past 2 years by devoting my back issue of the week to female superheroes all month long. The First Lady of Marvel, the Invisible Woman, is the back issue of the week YouTube short this week, so check that out at 60 seconds to learn about Invisible Woman Volume 1, Issue 1. And all month long, I'll be devoting my back issue of the week YouTube short to different ladies from the Marvel and DC universe. It's my third consecutive year in a row doing that on my back issue of the week YouTube short. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Let's get into our haul for today's books. Starting out with one that I have wanted for quite some time. This is Justice Society of America, Volume 4, Issue 1. This is a 1 in 50 incentive cover. Steve Lieber did the art for this. This is from 2022. This poor series, it's a 12-issue limited series, but this thing has been plagued with delays. So it started in 2022, and they still haven't gotten through all 12 issues because I don't know why there's been so many delays, but there has been many delays. I'll say the covers for this book have been very good. This story is pretty Huntress heavy, but I'm okay with that because I'm a fan of this character. What I didn't know what I was going to get with this is that it was going to be a virgin cover and that it was going to be a foil cover. I didn't know that at all. All the solicits and artwork that I had seen for this, it looked like it was trade dress and not foil. So I was quite surprised to get a virgin and a foil when this arrived in my order. I thought this image was fantastic. And when it was first solicited, I really wanted it the first time I saw it. And prices were a little bit more expensive. But lucky for me, the prices come down some. And definitely with the Unknown Comics sale that they had recently, I was able to pick up this that I wanted for my collection for quite some time at a very fair, affordable price. I wish this thing would photograph better though, so I could put it on Instagram. If you have any tips for photographing foil covers so they turn out pretty good, let me know because I'd like to share some more foil stuff on Instagram, but I never can seem to get a picture that I'm quite happy with. Up next, another incentive cover. This is DC vs. Vampires, issue number 8, also from 2022. Surprisingly, I really have found myself enjoying series like this or series like Deceased, which isn't necessarily my wheelhouse, but I've liked the series. We have Wonder Woman here on the cover. As my friend Mr. Fridge Art said to me when I was talking to him and showing him this cover, he said, she needs more moisturizer. Can't fight with that. This is a 1 in 25 incentive variant that was done by Chiang. No Wonder Woman in the story, but a fun cover. So this kind of goes back to my very brief days working at the comic book store. We had 2 of these incentive covers for sale, and I definitely wanted to get one. It was in my wheelhouse to get one and in my mind to get one. I sold one, and I'm like, okay, I've still got the other one, so I'll buy that. And somehow the other one got sold that I didn't know of until I went to buy it, and I realized I didn't have any copies left at all. I don't know if it got sold at a comic show or maybe on a Whatnot stream or whatever. So that one kind of slipped away from me. I've definitely found a lot of heavy nostalgia for me for the comic books that we had at that store. I just feel such a closeness to those books, or I put the mental and sentimental anyway, but those books from that time, it just takes me back to that period. And even some of the back issues that we had at the store, when I see those out and about, I find myself gravitating more towards them and wanting to have those into my collection. Just the way I'm wired, I guess. Here's one that's an Unknown Comics exclusive. Nathan Szerdy did the artwork for this. This is Flashpoint Beyond, #1. There also is another version of this, which is kind of a more cropped image of this cover, and Wonder Woman also has like tattoos on her arm in that version of it too. I don't have that one. Maybe someday if I get it, that's pretty awesome. If I don't, I'm still good with just having this version as well. Enjoyed the story, thought it was a good read as well. The Flashpoint universe is, I mean, they've done a lot with it, but I still think that there's so much more potential to it as well. I've really enjoyed the stuff that they've done with Flashpoint. And it was reading a lot of it on Fanboys Live in the Retro Review, honestly, that kind of got me more into it. The more I read on it, the more into it I kind of got. And speaking of Fanboys Live in the Retro Review, that's the greatest DC Comics show on YouTube. If you haven't caught us live on a Sunday night, I hope you will, or at least on the rewind. It's on my channel every Sunday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central, with Comic Food 2814 and Signature King Tony Fett. And maybe one of these days we can get Tim the Comic Collector back onto the show, because that would be great. He just has a scheduling conflict. So we'll be on this upcoming Sunday too, and we hope that you can join us for that. I'm going to switch over to Marvel right now. So this is kind of a throwback to my Comic Book Editions Volume 159 video. In that video, I showed an Unknown Comics exclusive that they had for X-Men 101 facsimile. And it was Nathan Szerdy, who just like did that Flashpoint cover I showed you. He was the artist on that. He's the artist on this. They took their exclusive image of Phoenix and then just recolored it and made it into Dark Phoenix. And I couldn't pass it up. I just could not pass it up. They didn't release this until a couple months after the facsimile and their original exclusives were released. Otherwise, I would have ordered it at the same time. But I've been eyeing this one for quite some time, and with their sale, figured it was time to really pull the trigger on it. It's kind of interesting to do an exclusive cover on a facsimile. I mean, I guess it's still a facsimile because they put the original cover underneath their own exclusive cover. Interesting concept, though. I mean, is it still a facsimile if it has a cover that isn't original? I don't know. But X-Men 101, of course, a big key issue too. It's the issue where Jean Grey becomes the Phoenix, or as we later find out, the Phoenix Force takes over Jean Grey's body. Thought I needed the blank sketch cover version of this issue as well, so I picked that one up. Lots of plans for some sketch covers, commissions in the future. I got to get a budget going for it, but I got plenty of ideas, so it's better to get the books on hand now and then worry about the budgetary parts later. So I was talking about the X-Men 101, such a key issue for Jean Grey / Phoenix fans like myself. But you know that Jean Grey is only like in 5 panels of the entire story? I mean, it's really not that much that she's in, but that cover is so good and so iconic. One of my all-time favorite covers. Also in this issue, if you're not familiar with it, we have Nightcrawler using his image inducer to look like Errol Flynn. This is the first time that Storm uses electrical currents to change the molecules of her outfit so she can change from her clothes into her costume or vice versa. First time that Wolverine admits an attraction to Jean Grey. He's kind of flirted with her in previous issues, but it's the first time he flat out kind of acknowledged it. And the original copy was the first 30-cent X-Men issue as well. So there's a little behind the scenes for you on some X-Men 101. There also is, and forgive me for not remembering which comic book it is, but there is an homage cover to X-Men 101 with Carol Danvers in the Black Lightning Bolt Ms. Marvel costume that you know I love. Someday I want to get that book. Unknown Comics has been cranking out some exclusives when it comes to the X-Men facsimiles, like this great Emma Frost exclusive for X-Men 129 facsimile. Of course, this is the first appearance of the Hellfire Club, first appearance of Emma Frost, first appearance of Kitty Pryde. Banshee leaves the group in this issue. I think the very first time I ever read an X-Men comic book was the original, issue 129. And I still can reread that issue with so many awesome memories. And it's the beginning of the Dark Phoenix Saga as well. I'm sure that you know that. This was, I like this artwork. I think it's great. There is a virgin version available of this, but I actually kind of like the one with the trade dress behind Emma a little bit better. So that's the one that I decided to go and stick with when it came to my personal collection. I think X-Men 129 is a must-have for any X-Men collector. And if you can't afford the original, hey, snag up a facsimile because it's worth the read. We're talking X-Men facsimiles that are Unknown Comics exclusives. Here's another one. Derrick Chew was the artist for this. X-Men issue number 4 from volume 1. It's the facsimile. So Marvel did a facsimile of X-Men 4 back in 2020. And I picked it up then. Here in 2024, they've just done another facsimile of this. As a matter of fact, this was the first book that I ordered in 2024. It was a pre-order at that time, and I pre-ordered it like on January 1st. So this was my first comic book purchase of 2024. Now I finally have it in my hands. You know, I wish I had an original because I'm such a Scarlet Witch fan. This is first appearance of Scarlet Witch, first appearance of Quicksilver, her mutant brother, first appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. But my 2020 facsimile that I picked up of X-Men number 4, which I bought at my LCS, has a printing error on 2 pages. And I looked to see if every copy had it, and it's only a few copies that my LCS had it. I've talked to other collectors, and they don't seem to have it as well. There's one page that has huge purple streaks of ink going down the comic book page, and then on the advertisement, a little bit less on the next page too. So I guess that would be an error version of that. Maybe I need to get that graded and labeled as an error version or so, because I don't know a lot of people that have that. This virgin version of X-Men 4, as I said, an Unknown Comics exclusive. I bought it in a bundle with the trade dress version. And I saved the trade dress version to show last. Usually I show the trade dress first and then the virgin version second, but I went backwards this time. You know why Scarlet Witch is color green, I'm sure. Because in the original X-Men 4 and issue 5 on the cover, not the interiors, but on the cover, she was accidentally colored green. I thought this was so brilliant to take that image and color it green for the exclusive facsimile cover. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. It's such a small touch, but it is brilliant. And you know, when I'm talking about X-Men number 4, you know, X-Men and DC Comics Doom Patrol really came out at the same time. In the same month that the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants debuted in this X-Men issue, Doom Patrol was battling their Brotherhood as well, their evil team that they were going up against. So just another interesting coincidence between the Doom Patrol and the X-Men, which there are several when it comes to those two groups and their comic books. Another interesting one to tie in there. Man, someday I would be ecstatic if I could ever own an original X-Men number 4. I would be ecstatic for that. So that is today's comic book editions video that I have for you. What did you think? Are you looking for any of these covers? Do you own any of these books? What are your thoughts of exclusive covers? I want to dialogue about all of this stuff and anything else that you want to in the comment section below. I love reading your comments. They're always welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope this video will be the one that tip you over the edge to finally do that. Subscriptions welcome as I try to get to 1K. I'm moving slow, but still not giving up until I get there, and definitely could use your help. Or share my channel or this video with someone else that you think might enjoy it, or subscribe as well, because that certainly does help. Give the video a thumbs up for the algorithm. Cool. You made it to the end of this comic book editions video today. Thank you so much again for joining me. Have a safe, successful, and healthy week, and I'll catch you next week. Take care.